And that's all from us, from Alistair and from me. Good night.
Good evening. Well, you'd be well advised to keep your winter clothes to hand for the moment, along with your waterproofs, because the weather's up to its usual old tricks. Now, our cloud scan sequence shows today's rain-carrying cloud heading away eastwards towards Scandinavia, leaving behind a mesh of broken cloud out in the west, setting the scene for tomorrow's showers. So now we take a quick look at tonight, and it really is going to be a windy old night with gale force winds expected, particularly along western coasts, and hand in hand with those strong winds, the inevitable showers. Now, going on into tomorrow, and the day gets off to a showery sort of a start, particularly in northern and western areas. Scotland especially suffers from quite vicious showers at times. For the south and east, it's a similar sort of theme, but at least some attempts at brightness. Now, come afternoon, the heaviest showers will ease right back to the north, leaving behind a bright and blustery day for most of us. Now, let's see just how breezy. Well, it is going to be very strong winds yet again particularly for exposed parts of the coast, tending to disguise what are really average temperatures for the beginning of April. And that's the way we expect tomorrow's weather to go. I leave you with the weather summary and, of course, the lighting up times from me. Good night.
Friday evening on Granada peeps through the keyhole at 7 with David Frost, Claire Rayner and Willie Rushton. Then at 7:30, Coronation Street.
Yeah, he's trying to make out that it's an April Fool's joke.
Oh, nay, Jack, lad. I had it made, printed, I sent it, end of story.
But you see, he can't bear thoughts of his wife having royal blood in her veins.
I think you're being very callous, Jack.
At 8, surprise, surprise.
Joanne Liney, hello, Joanne. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise! Oh, surprise, surprise, Peter, it's Cilla here.
What? As in Cilla Black?
Yeah, the very same one, Peter.
At 9, the Chief.
If these maniacs said they planted an atom bomb, what would you do? Evacuate the city? If I believed them.
Get out of there! At the double!
Controversy in Upfront at 10:40 and Hooperman at 11:40 make Friday fun on Granada.
Now on Granada, an update on the latest news in the northwest.
Good evening. Forensic scientists are tonight continuing tests after a bomb incident at Preston railway station. An incendiary device was discovered on a platform late last night. It ignited but didn't explode. There's speculation that a terrorist firebomb campaign has been frustrated. Paul Crone reports.
The incident happened at 11:20 last night on Preston railway station's platform 3. A blue holdall had been left on the platform alongside the stationary London to Carlisle train. A member of the public spotted the holdall, which was on fire and had smoke coming out of the top. The flames were extinguished and police later confirmed that it was an incendiary device. Several people are known to have got on and off the Carlisle-bound train at the time of the incident, and it's quite possible they may have witnessed something important.
Anyone else that was on the train from London Euston to Carlisle, went through Preston, stopped at Preston, anyone who got off it, got on it, any people who were being picked up, picking up, taxi drivers, anyone who saw anyone suspicious, someone walking with a blue holdall. That's important, a blue holdall. We want to trace them, so we'd like them to come forward, and any information will be treated in the strictest of confidence.
Tonight, police wouldn't speculate on who planted the device, but said inquiries are continuing.
It's developed, obviously, since this morning. The package was taken away. It's being looked at by forensic scientists, and we're waiting for results from that. It's as simple as that.
Police in Liverpool are launching a new campaign to tackle the city's growing prostitution problem. Women officers will go undercover posing as prostitutes. Andy Gill has the details.
In the residential areas plied by prostitutes, ordinary women face the constant threat of unwanted approaches from curb crawlers. Tracy has been a prostitute in Liverpool since she was 15. Like many, she started it to pay for drugs. Last year, police in Liverpool made more than 1,000 arrests for prostitution, but it doesn't seem to have been much of a discouragement. Over the past 2 nights, 20 different women were arrested on this block alone. Now the police have decided to target the men who provide the demand for prostitution in the first place. From next week, women police officers will go undercover in Liverpool's red light district posing as prostitutes. They'll have backup, and if a man approaches and asks for sex, he's likely to face a charge of curb crawling. Addicts need cash for drugs, and some prostitutes say if there are no customers, they'll have to get drug money through other means.
Well, there'd be more crime, put it that way. More burglaries, more muggings, put it that way.
The undercover operation starts next week.
Rolls-Royce Motors in Crewe are to lay off half their workforce later this month. 2,500 workers will be affected. The company, which blamed lack of demand, announced more than 100 redundancies yesterday. Members of the Kurdish community in the region are horrified by reports of the slaughter and starvation in the Gulf. They fear for their surviving relatives and friends in Iraq. David Alton reports.
Hundreds of thousands of Kurdish refugees have been fleeing their homeland in Iraqi Kurdistan before they're gunned down by Saddam Hussein's troops. The Northwest 2,000-strong Kurdish community has been following television, newspaper and radio reports for news of their families. They're horrified by the killings and torture, and they're criticizing the Allies.
They created Saddam. For the past decade, they armed him, they supported him, they gave him whatever he wanted, without limit. Now, to punish him, they destroyed Iraq, they destroyed Kuwait, they destroyed everywhere. And they left this mess behind to the people to face death by their puppet or the monster they created. And now they are trying, like President Bush, he washed his hand and walk away. But now is the priority, immediate priority is to get relief to those people who are stranded on the border and facing death from hunger and from cold and from Iraqi war machines.
Meanwhile, 130 soldiers from the region have returned to Manchester from the Gulf. They're all members of the 14th 20th King's Hussars who operated Challenger tanks. Families and friends of the men met them at Ringway Airport tonight. Most are recruited from Greater Manchester and Lancashire. All were celebrating, but some said they'd come home too soon.
Unfortunately, we're not going to go back. Somebody's made the wrong decision.
So how does that make you feel?
Well, personally, we should have run with the ball a bit longer. And it was the wrong decision to make, George.
Surgeons at Wythenshawe Hospital in Manchester have carried out the first domino transplant in the region. 24-year-old Anne Cooper from Flixton was given a new heart and lungs, and her heart was given to 15-year-old Alison Maguire from Staley Bridge. Tim Wyatt reports.
The operation at Manchester's Wythenshawe Hospital last month gave Alison Maguire and Anne Cooper a new lease of life. Anne, who'd been suffering from cystic fibrosis, gave up a heart to Alison, who'd been suffering from a virus. And in return, Anne received a heart and lungs from a donor in Manchester.
Alison's got my old heart, which I didn't need anymore.
I don't take it for granted. I think it's amazing that they can do this operation, but I didn't think it would ever happen. It didn't occur to me that it could happen to me.
I just feel very lucky and very privileged, and also delighted that my heart has been able to go and help Alison, who was so poorly.
The operation was performed by 3 teams of surgeons, one of them led by consultant Abdul Durrania.
There are not enough donors for heart-lung organs as compared to the heart transplants. It is an operation that will increase in usage over the years.
Anne and Alison, having made friends, are now both making rapid recoveries.
Rugby League now, the results of championship matches played tonight in Division 1. Wigan beat St Helens by 28 points to 14, which puts them in second place to Widnes with a game in hand. In Division 2, Bramley 6, Workington 18, Carlisle 28, Trafford 0, Dewsbury 64, Nottingham 0, and finally Halifax 42, Swinton 14. The weather now, briefly heavy showers tonight, but lighter winds, a minimum temperature 4 centigrade, 39 Fahrenheit. Tomorrow's top temperature around 8 centigrade or 46 Fahrenheit. That's all from us for now. Granada News is back 5 to 10 tomorrow morning.